Good morning and happy Friday, or whatever day may be for you if you're watching this on the replay. So I'm just wanting to talk to you. First, let's just take a deep breath in through our nose. Exhale, sighs it out. Good. Let yourself just arrive in your body. And I wanted to talk today about a simple tool that you can use anytime, or it's really a simple process that you can use in the midst of being triggered, in the midst of upset. You know, that time when someone says that thing to you, or something's going on, you know, your bank account isn't what you want it to be, or you get some bad news, or someone, like I said, says something to you that is upsetting, or maybe you get an email. These are all things that when we have an external event happen and it causes us, or we feel irritated or ashamed or frightened or angry, or, you know, that's called being triggered. You guys probably already know that. And when we get triggered, what can happen is we get lost in the loop of our really chaotic, busy mind and the very tense, uncomfortable sensations in the body. Our usual way for getting rid, quote unquote rid, because that's often what we're trying to do when we get upset and we feel really uncomfortable. We want it to end. That's not because we're flawed, it's because we're human. It's a really natural impulse and response to just not feeling comfortable and not feeling well in your own skin. Our usual ways of dealing with this trigger is to blame, to distract, you know, to make the other person or the other situation wrong. Maybe we defend ourselves. There's all kinds of things that we do to discharge those hard, difficult thoughts and uncomfortable body sensations when we get triggered. The problem with that is it doesn't really work, does it? It actually keeps the whole thing going. And so when you see that, you might even sense something in your life right now that's happening that's challenging for you. And then notice, is it ever helped by your distracting yourself, you know, or is it ever helped by, in the long run, by your talking about it, you know, by your just rerunning the story and blaming and judging? I mean, if you really look, you'll see that it gives you immediate relief, but over the long run, it just keeps the whole thing in place. And this is why people go years without talking to each other. You know, it's just we hold on to these things, and there's a better way. And I'm just going to show it to you now, pretty quick, right? So we'll begin like I love to begin, just taking 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out our mouth. So deep breath in through our nose. Exhale, sighs it out. And again, deep breath in. Sip it in, and then hold it at the top of your inhale. Exhale, lets it go. Really arriving even more in your body here. Deep breath in, sip it in, and hold it. Exhale, sighs it out. Take a big breath. One of the most important tools that we use when we're triggered is our breath. And why the breath? Why do we shift attention from the situation that's bothered us to our breath? Because we're seeking space. And we need space. We need room to breathe. Room and space away from the problem. Not as a way to deny it, but as a way to see a bigger perspective. And as a way to integrate the really challenging physical sensations that get brought up when we're triggered. So tool number one, the moment you sense, or as soon as you're aware that you're upset. Now sometimes that can happen like right away, you know, especially if you have a consistent meditation practice and you're mindful in your life, you're going to be aware of the trigger pretty quickly. The quicker you can be aware of it, the better. However, if you're aware of it a day later, and hours later, or 2 weeks later, it's still good. You can still do this practice to get some space from it. Not from it, but just to get some space so that you can get a different perspective and you can hold it from a place of feeling better about it. And so, taking a moment, once you get the email, look at those little, what are those little ducks in the background? Aw, look at that sunrise, you guys. I love bringing you out here with me. So, where was I? I digressed. Okay. I got distracted. Ooh, look at the pretty ducks. So the first thing we can do is, like, humor is good too, right? is get some space by taking a breath and find the breath. And then the next thing that you'll want to do is really sense the belly center. This is a tool or an area of the being and of the body, of our physical bodies, that can bring us a lot of resource and a lot of centering. Like, it's going to happen if you just drop your mind into your belly. Like, you can really trust your belly to bring you back to this place of a little bit more quiet and calm. But when we're triggered, we really need to be intentional and exert a little bit of effort to get centered, literally. So let's practice the centering meditation. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale completely. Get really empty of breath by drawing your navel in towards your spine a lot. Like, feel that. Ooh, and then inhale. Belly fills, heart expands. Exhale, navel draws in towards your spine a lot. Really actively engage your belly. Wake it up. Wake it up. It's like a sleeping ally on the path. And then inhale, belly fills. Heart expands. Exhale, navel draws in towards the spine, dropping your mind into your belly. Now see if you can just allow your attention to stay in the belly. Even as you inhale, belly fills. Stay in your belly. Stay. Exhale, navel draws in towards the spine. Now staying in the belly, the place about 2 inches beneath your navel. Feel that. And then inhaling. Keep the mind there. Keep the mind there. Exhale. Do that. We've done about 5 of those breaths. You want to do probably about 12, if not more, of this really directed, more concentrated, more refined breath and tending in the body. So we're attending very consciously with a lot of kindness to the belly center. And belly center is quite potent and powerful portal that connects us right into this moment. So if you're done doing that, just notice your belly and how it feels. You might feel a lot of warmth and vibrance there. You might not feel much at all. But then notice what's happened to your mind. It's like you've shifted attention away from the problem. But not in a way of distracting yourself. We're doing this consciously and with intention. It just makes the whole thing much different. Good. And then from this place, you might sense what feels good, what feels nourishing, what feels soothing. And then begin to let that in. So right now it's the sound of the birds, the feeling of the rocks beneath my butt, the changing light of the morning sky. Find something in your present moment that is soothing to you, that's resourceful. And sense yourself taking that in. And as you're doing all of this, know that it's like you're applying medicine to a wound, right? We're not, again, turning away from the problem, because if a part of you senses that you're trying to do that, it'll fight it. Because there's a deep part of all of us that really believes that we'll solve all problems by focusing on them more intently. It's not true. What we need to do is get a better perspective, get a broader view. And that's what this is about. Now, once you get this little broader view, solutions might come to you. The right action to take next will make itself known to you. But it's not going to come when you're lost in your problem and you're thinking about it, like, woo, all up in there, right? It's like a maze. Instead, we need to go in. The last piece of this that I didn't really attend to or mention is just to check in after you've done this process and you've gotten your resourcing. Put your hand on your heart and sense any emotions that might be present. Get specific. Is it fear or anxiety? Is it restlessness? Is it anger? What is it? What's the emotional tone that's associated with this upset? And then really labeling those. Oh yeah, I'm feeling really angry right now. Once you've settled and done your belly centering breaths, you can connect to the heart without getting so lost in the emotions, right? Because when we're triggered and we're up in our head and then we're feeling into our heart, we can get really lost. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. I'm nearing the end of this video, so after I'm done, you can hit the replay and receive the whole thing. I think this is going to be something nourishing for you. And then it's helpful, if it still feels really sticky, just to get your journal out and write down anything that's coming to mind. And then after doing these practices, right, the first one I mentioned was to come into the breath. The second was to drop into the belly and do those deep, about 12 belly breaths where you're drawing the navel in towards the spine a lot. And then waking up the belly center so you have access to this deeper wisdom that the belly holds. I know that sounds weird, but when you practice it, that wisdom will be made available to you more and more. So you have to practice to get what I'm saying. Naming the feelings that are coming up, and then also resourcing yourself. And then sensing if this doesn't allow you more space to see the whole thing from a different perspective, and then you might know what to do next. Much more clearly, with much more, clarity is the right word. And that's what we're seeking, and that should bring in some ease and some peace and some calm. Happy Friday again. Sending you so much love and many blessings. Have a great weekend. Namaste.